Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new league racing video. This is round number 5 of WOR. Every single year I just get lost with rounds after like 5 races. And we have reached that point now. It is, I think, round 5, around Mexico, one of my favorite tracks. And we are currently P2 in the standings behind Otis Lawrence. Yes, as you can see there. That was round 4 Brazil. So round 5 Mexico. 3 points out of Lucas Blakely and 10 points behind Otis Lawrence. We are looking to cut down on that championship lead and maybe even take the championship lead. Never know. As I said, Mexico, one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. Won F1 Esports there 3 times in a row. And there have only been 3 races in Mexico, so it has been historically seen a good track for me. But this is a new game again, and we are basically just gonna have to start all over again with knowledge. Track grip is a lot lower, I feel like, on this year's Mexico circuit compared to previous years. So that makes it a little bit harder. Nicolas Longue, P1 there at the start of Q1. 15.0 I think so he did there, and that is a fairly good lap. For Q1, we're gonna try and improve on that, of course. Easy said and done though. And as we go through one of the many chicanes around Mexico, into the long right-hander, have to get nice rotation there, but need to get a power down nicely as well through that quite long right-hander. Then this section is really hard on this year's game, as it's easy to bottom out over this curb, so you cannot cut the curbs, you have to drive around them. A little bit like real life, and that makes it really hard. Into the final sector we go. 3.2 tenths up on Jack West as we go into the left-hander, trying to get the car nicely rotated. Bit too much sliding going on there. As we go through the final corner up to the line, it is gonna be a 1:15.307, and that is not gonna be enough, I felt like, at the time to go into Q2, but I decided to stay in, and there are quite a lot of people that were quite slow, so I took the risk. And I think, yeah, the bottom 4-5 people didn't practice for this race, so I felt like I could just stay in Q1, and that's what I did. So we saved a set of soft tires through into our first lap of Q2 here. Missed the apex there of that right-hander by quite a margin. That was no ideal. And through the final corner we go. 3 tenths up on our, compared to a used tire run. And up to the line it's a 1:15.091. And that is definitely not enough to get into Q3. And as you can see there, by the time we started our second lap, we were only P8. So we had to go out again. Even if we want to save a set of tires, we just can't afford it. Because we would not make Q3. We have to improve by at least half a tenth, I reckon. Into turn 1 we go. Bit wide there on entry. Bit deep, I would say. However, almost a 1/10 gain, and that's what we need. Which is just to keep building throughout this lap. Now we missed the apex of the first corner in sector 3, of course, so there is maybe another 10 there to find, as we are 1/10 up anyway through this section. Bit worse on the exit, but we did overall gain through that long right-hander. Now to this section, this right-hander is the most tricky one, and then the rest is quite easy flat. Just have to make sure to not bottom out on any of these apex curbs. Into the final sector we go. 1.4 tenths up on Otis Lawrence and 900s up on Luke Smith for now. Now, as you can see there, quite decent time gain through that right-hander. And we are 1.3 tenths up going through the final corner. It is going to be an easy Q3 for us. P5 with only 2 people to come across the line. And Jake, as you can hear say in the background there, not ideal because he's out in Q2 here. We made it only by 600s. But yeah, we had to improve that half a tenth, which we did. First lap here in Q3. 3 tenths up on Tomek Poretsis, but I think Tomek did that lap on a used set of tires, and we are new tires, of course, so 2 new tire runs here in Mexico. It's really hard to nail a lap around here, so we really need those 2 new sets of tires. Even though historically seen, 2-stop might be worth a shot around here. But you need a new set of softs to do that, and we're gonna not have them because we're using them right now. So into turn 1 we go in around 10 seconds, and we're gonna have to brake hard. Lost a bit of time to the delta, but the delta might be wrong. Into turn 1 we go. Looks good, but could have been faster, I reckon. Only half a tenth green as we head into sector 2. But you can see there, we had 3.1 tenths faster than Fabricio Donoso in the first sector. And that might just all be wings. Which is interesting. 3.1 tenths in a single sector is crazy. And that means Fabricio is somewhere around this lap gonna make up 3.1 tenths. And it's mainly gonna be in this middle and last sector because he's running those high wings. Mexico is super slippery on this game, so it might work really well. But it's gonna be interesting to see who's gonna be faster in the race with those wings. So through the final sector we go. We are gonna be 110 green into the final corner, but it's not gonna be enough for pole position because we simply do not have the pace at the moment. It is only gonna be P6 with still 2 people to cross the line. And it's P7. Not a terrible session, not a great session. Yeah, didn't get a great lap together. Wasn't nailed. At the same time, I've also been traveling a lot between home and the factory. So didn't really play the game for the past 1.5 weeks. I was traveling to Goodwood, then traveling back home again, and had a Coldplay concert actually. That's also why I missed PSGL, the last PSGL race on Wednesday. So we lost quite a bit of championship points in PSGL. But this is WR, and we are driving in this race. PSGL is always the main objective, but I still want to win WR as well, of course. Especially because Lucas is driving in most of these races.
Lucas softs.
And he's a very good benchmark, of course. We are gonna go into the race now. 5 red lights. And away we go on the hard compound of tires. A lot of people on hards, but Lucas Blakely on the softs. And I think Otis Lawrence, our championship rival, on the softs as well. Tomek Poratz is on the softs behind us. But we got a good start. Fabricio Donoso on the hards ahead of us. Getting a slightly worse start than us. As we have
Fabricio.
Little bit of a moment as Fabricio turned in maybe slightly too early. Maybe I went a little bit too deep into turn 1. We just quite didn't give enough space to each other there, I think so. Not a major incident though, it's just a small tap which didn't do anything to both of us. So we continue here. Not sure what has happened to Tomek because he was right behind us at the start on softs and he's gone now. And I think he's the one. He's the one that got into an incident, and that's why he's not in P9 anymore. So Luke Smith in P9 on the mediums behind us, and then Josh Ido on the hards. So now we just need to get a good safety car restart, or virtual safety car restart, I should say. And we got one. Nothing really happened. It was a bit boring, to be honest, at this point in the race, because all those people who started on softer compound tires just moved up the order, and yeah, they didn't have the pace to pull out of the DRS, so we're just in a train at the moment, and nothing is really happening. We got Luke Smith behind us though, on a set of mediums. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna fight this too hard, because he's just gonna have so much more pace at this point in the race on that set of mediums. We're going a little bit deep there. I wasn't going to give it to him for free, of course, because that would cost us time. I decided, you know what, he didn't get the position into turn 1, I'll fight it a little bit, and then into the next left-hander. I went a little bit defensive, but Luke had the outside, which turns to the inside, and I wasn't fighting it too crazy hard as well. No point at this point in the race, because Luke has more pace. I can of course fight it crazy hard, use a lot of my ERS, but we lose a lot of time to the cars ahead, and if I lose a lot of ERS I might be very vulnerable vulnerable. You get what I mean. We will be under threat from Josh. Behind us, as Otis and Luke are having a go at each other there. Trying to get past each other. And this is the point where the people who started
Marcel,
on the softs...
join the call.
The people who started on the softs are starting to struggle really hard. And you can see that. They just can't really keep their pace at this point in the race. And you can hear me say Marcel join the call, because I didn't exactly know who was on what tire. And that was worrying me, because I just want to know it. So I could kind of strategize in my head what everyone else was going to do, as Fab had a big snap of oversteer there. The hards are starting to drop off as well at this point, but just not as much. But yeah, that's the difference I was talking about in qualifying. I didn't even want to overtake Fabricio there, because I felt like we're just going to go side by side through here and lose a lot of time to those softer tire runners ahead. But we're on so much lower wings that it just becomes so easy to pass him. Of course, 310s in the first sector, and I decided I've got full battery, I'm going to go for it here. Also the reason I didn't fight him into that final sector, because I knew I was gonna get a free pass into turn 1 with the wings we are running compared to him. So much lower. And now Luke Smith, once again, I expect him to go on the attack here, to be honest. Because Otis is on that soft tire, which is dropping aggressively here. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. He is flashing Luke, so no battery remaining for him. And we are definitely gonna go on the attack here on the next lap.
Okay,
However,
don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options if you go and check your MFD.
What?
Which call?
At the bottom, I don't know if you've got the thingy.
As Marcel was still trying to join the call, we had to box. We're behind safety car. I tried to go for a cheeky move.
It doesn't break.
Stupid ass game.
I tried to pass or get a cheeky pass there on Luke into the pits, but the AI car doesn't go side by side in the pits, which is unfortunate. But yeah, we're gonna continue here. And behind the safety car, only one car continued, which was Thomas in the Alfa Romeo. The rest boxed, and because we started on the hards, we are in a bit of a sketchy situation. Because mediums to the end from here is very sketchy. Hards will easily make it, and mediums won't. Simple as that. Safety car is going to box in 2 to 3 laps. That means we're going to have to do 22 laps on the mediums. You can make it on the hards, but it's already sketchy on the hards, let alone doing it on the mediums. But we're going to have to, because if we have to box again, our race is over. We will barely get points.
I'm getting held back.
As I'm not very happy with the throttle limiter behind the safety car. Honestly, I really don't understand why that's still in the game in F123. It baffles me that after all this time they have not removed it. Into turn 1 we go. Trying to have a cheeky little go at Otis, our championship rival. Into turn 1, couldn't really find a way through. As I get tapped behind from Josh.
You killed me.
Well, I think misjudged the speed we were going a little bit, as now we've got Fabricio next to us on the softs. Fabricio is the one going for the 2-stop. Softs will definitely not make it. So everyone who's on the softs is definitely aiming for a 2-stop from here on. We are not. So I was like, Fabricio, you can go through. Now we got Thomas ahead on old hards. It's getting a bit squirmy here in the middle sector, with everyone trying to pass each other as fast as possible. I want to keep my nose clean, so I want to go for a completely clean pass on Thomas and just go for a safe one. I could have maybe gone for a dive into the left-hander and stayed ahead of Fabricio as well, but again, I knew our time would come. Fabricio on the softs as well, didn't want to fight that, and one corner later we were getting Thomas anyway, so had to play that one smart.
Oh, hello.
And be a little bit patient. Now Otis on the hards, we need to get past him as fast as possible. Again, I think we have the most straight line speed out of everyone on the grid. Into turn 1 we go. Nicolas and Fabricio, the slowest one on the straight probably. I'm trying to have a little go at Nicolas through the chicane, but couldn't quite pull it off, as Otis was trying to keep it around the outside there somehow, but he ended up losing even more because of that. Didn't quite get the traction compared to Josh as well, of course, on those hards. Josh with a 5-second penalty though. I don't know how he got that one. Might have been from speeding in the pits, I'm not sure. But on to lap 19 we go. Fabrizio on the softs, starting to struggle. And I know both Nicolas,
ahead 77.
Both Nicolas and Fabrizio don't have a lot of straight line speed. And I was, you know what, I'm going for a double overtake into turn 1 here. We've got so much straight line speed. Nicolas following us into turn 1 and up to P4 we go. But we have to keep in mind, Nicolas on hards, Luke Smith on hards, Alfie Butcher on hards, Lucas Blakely on hards as well. This whole situation, because of the safety car, we have just been a little bit unlucky here. Of course you can say, oh, you should have started on softs or mediums, but you can be in the same scenario if you start on soft and mediums and you have to box early and then the safety car comes in that 5-lap window where you do not want it to come. And we've been put into that scenario right now, where there's a 5-lap window, you don't want...
I've got so much more straight line speed, there's no way.
Where you don't want the safety car to come, and it came exactly in that 5-lap window. And of course, we're gonna try and save tires and have a little go at Luke Smith here into the chicane. I got marbles on my tires and couldn't get the power down. So that was no ideal. I was frustrated with that because I thought I was gonna have a little go, and this is some beautiful racing. 3 wide into the next left-hander. Everyone is giving
marbles, man.
Each other room. I pushed Luke a little bit wide there, but nothing crazy. We were ahead into the right-hander, so
I'll take that.
That was easy peasy lemon squeezy into P4. Actually, we stayed in P4 because Nicolas got past us.
You're not streaming, I assume?
Luke Smith has penalties as well, so he's not really a threat in
just
this
let
race.
me know his eras when you sit.
Anyway, but unfortunately Nicolas got past here again, because it's not gonna get easier for us around lap 30, 6 laps to go. Luke Smith behind us.
Oh, is he fighting again?
He's pushing once again. And it's been a great battle with Luke Smith
to drive on.
It's got a little bit squirmy into the right-hander, but nothing crazy. It was just a slight tap. Luke got the position in the end anyway.
Oh yeah, let's add marbles to the game, but we take the AI line.
As I'm not very happy with his marbles. For the people who don't know, there are marbles added to F1 23. However, they've taken the AI line to add marbles, so the AI obviously drive...
13, sorry. 1-3.
13?
1-3.
They take the AI line, which is very frustrating, because obviously the AI line is not the ideal racing line.
You have way more eras.
So in your Q3 lap, you've got an insane amount of marbles. And then at the start of the race, or even in the middle of the race, or even at the end of the race, you've got less marbles than you do at the end of Q3. Which is so frustrating. But again, only I think the top 1% of the players will notice it. Again, quite easy defense of Otis into turn 1. Back to the race we go. After a rant about marbles. Back to the race we go. P5. Net P4, of course, with Luke Smith's penalties. Our tires are starting to scream. Josh Idowu is on the exact same strategy as us.
7 at the exit.
Josh has the exact same issue as us. His tires are starting to drop off, and this is turning into a real struggle for both of us because our tires are just not doing very well. Otis goes around the outside into turn 1. I'm gonna push him a little bit onto the marbles and go for a cheeky switchback here. He tries to cover it up, but we got more ERS to play with. As you could hear Marcel, our teammate, say Otis only had 25%, 25% ERS, which is the energy recovery system at the start of the straight, which gives you so much more power. But yeah, into this final lap, we've got more ERS. So once again, this is not going to be too hard to defend. If anything, maybe we can attack Lucas Blakely into turn 1.
Lucas 8-3,
but
Longwood 6-5, Otis 2-4 using. Also tire pop-up, orange.
I was keeping in the back of my mind as well, of course, that everyone is going to be using their ERS into turn 1. And I was like, we're going to play this smart. They're going to fight here. There's nothing to gain from me at the moment, because realistically, unless something happens, we're not going to get past Lucas here. Our tires are dying. We might as well save it a little bit for the middle sector in case we struggle after that middle sector. And Lucas Blakely goes for a little cheeky little lunge. Couldn't quite pull it off, but it's turning into chaos slowly. And this is why I said I had to be patient. Not that I could have really done anything to Lucas into turn 1 anyway, because our tires are just completely dead. However, going towards the final half a lap of this race, you're about to witness, or at least this has been probably the most dirtiest last sector I've been part of in league racing. Just watch it.
It's hitting me as well. What am I watching, man? What is wrong with these people?
Now, that last sector was crazy. In the end, we finished P3 on track, and after all the penalties, we finished P3 as well, because Lucas's penalty got removed and he got reinstated into P2. Nicolas got the win, we got P3. Otis got a 15-second penalty for the last corner antics, and Alfie got a 10-second penalty for the other antics. Now, both drivers straight away apologized after the race, so I'm glad both Otis and Alfie realized they were wrong. Yeah, I hope they'll learn from it in the future. We can have cleaner races, because that last sector was a bit ridiculous. But yeah, in the end of the day, they lost out the most point-wise, so we gained the most. Now we're leading together with Lucas in the championship. I think we're in equal points exactly now, so that's going to be very exciting. Can't wait for the next race. Again, of course, both Otis and Alfie, it was dirty in the last sector, but of course, I hope they learn from it, and next races we can drive cleaner. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Nonetheless, make sure to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao!